No, they've insisted on the Skyrim Tavern music.
Yeah, that's the music. Alright. Here it is. Brian, would you like to start us off?
Oh no, we still got 3 minutes. I'm gonna wait.
Okay, you wanna wait? Alright.
I want people to come in and be like, "Wow, we're like 5 slides in."
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We have 23 people here already, dang.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
But somebody left. Oh no.
God bless America.
Damn, they took one look at us and they're like, never mind.
Yeah, sorry to anybody sorry to any Americans in chat currently, because oh my god.
Yeah.
It's 9 a.m. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a very Eurocentric audience today, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're all here.
Work anyway.
We all live on the East Coast. I'm trying.
Yay. Oh.
I can't see any comments.
Makes me feel so good.
I can't see any comments.
This was so important. I was going to wake up early.
We'll be highlighting the good ones.
Yeah. Please excuse our technical error. It's very cold in my room and I'm struggling. It's like 30 degrees.
Damn, I wish.
Yeah,
it's 36 out right now. It's fucking
38,
crazy.
38 over here.
Because I live in Florida.
Yep.
I had to I'm freezing. All right. Oh boy. I hope y'all enjoy this. I had a lot of fun working on it.
Yeah.
It's only 1 hour of your life.
It's only 1 hour of your life. And you know, this is something that we're passionate about, and we want to show it to you, and we're excited. Tavern music is very fun.
I'm appreciating the energy we've got going.
The SpongeBob screaming image.
Yeah, I love SpongeBob.
Yeah! Let's fucking go!
Oh, really? That's awesome.
This
I was
is
considering doing that.
I got to the link to it.
Semi-serious presentation, so
what the hell?
be warned. It says semi-serious in the title.
Yeah.
We're just having fun today. No, it's not gonna suck. It's gonna be great. We're having a fun time.
I need to be nice.
That said, that Semi is going to be doing a lot of legwork.
That Semi is doing a lot of work. There's a lot. It's a lot.
Oh my goodness! Look at that number go up.
Yo, number go up.
Go up.
Number
That's
go
huge.
up.
Hi, Star.
I'm a big fan of number go up.
Hi.
I love number go up.
Hi.
As evidence.
Number grow up.
Number go up.
You grew off my throat.
Oh, it's 9. Fell
My Steve. It's 9 o'clock. It's 9 a.m. You know what that means?
Like Jimmy Buffett said, it's 9 o'clock
You know what
somewhere
that means?
or whatever.
Fish.
All right.
Well, we're getting to that later.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our panel. Sorry in advance, as we've kind of prefaced, but this is going to be like half scholarly discussion and half goofing. There's going to be jokes throughout. You've been warned. But anyway, as you can see by the title, our topic is post-TF appreciation. So, before we get started talking about our topic in particular, there's 4 of us here, as you can see. We need to introduce ourselves. Like, who are we? What are we about? And most importantly for this convention, what kind of TF do we like? Okay, so, hi everybody, I'm Bernie, and as you can see, there's something deeply wrong with me. To quote my intro that I posted ages ago in the Shipticon server, I'm Bernnyx on DA and FA. I'm on FA a lot less because switching between websites is a little difficult, and the FA UI is difficult. I write primarily human character TF, but usually it has some horror elements in it, and recently I've been branching out into focusing on some post-TF captions since I love post-TF goodness. I love evil scientists, terrible blonde men, and a lot of twinning. Oh, thank you.
Hi, I am Xander, he, him. I am Fictomorph on DA, and I am a very hard worker in filling the incredibly underused niche that is FTM into anime men. Despite my niche, I like to experiment with tone, triggers, all the adjacent things. Basically, I'm willing to give any kind of style a shot at least once. And I have a appreciation for a wide variety of series, so there is a decent chance that if you want to be annoying about something, I will be able to be annoying with you.
Woo! Love this guy.
There's 50 people here. Hello.
Hello. Hey, what's up? I think Sonic the Hedgehog is a trans woman, and if you disagree with me, I'll put my hands over my ears and go la 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 really loud. I read Animorphs when I was 6, and I'm different now.
All right.
That's it.
Pretty good. All right.
What more do you need?
Hi, I'm Arsene or Shadow to your
baby.
preference. I am extremely and exceptionally normal about this fictional hedgehog in particular, as you can see. And if my therapist was aware of how badly I need to be him in real life, she'd be really concerned for my well-being. I like it when the TF has narrative consequences and there's also the evil, and just generally exploring gender and identity in meaningful ways. I love that stuff. It's great. I love post-TF. This is awesome. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight.
That's you everywhere.
Yeah.
All right, so with introductions out of the way, hope you like those little collages. What the hell even is post TF? It's not TF into a literal post, although I'm sure it could be. Somebody could probably like that. No, post TF is the stuff that follows the glamour, the spice of the initial sequence, the stuff so many people seem to forget about or they deem as like inherently bad or boring or lame. And we would like to transform your perspective on the matter. You can't see it, but I'm winking.
All right. So, our mission is to use this panel to discuss post-TF and how we feel like it's underappreciated in the TF community, despite its ability to enhance an already existing story. And to illustrate this ability, we will detail what the ideas and inquiries we believe makes post-TF interesting, and share some of our favorite post-TF-centric media. Because most people discount post-TF because they find more enjoyment in the TF itself, the process, and the end result, etc. But focusing on the post-TF can be just as fun, and hopefully by the end of this presentation we might be able to, what do you say, like, change some minds? Huh?
Hey!
No?
Hey.
Okay.
Okay, so what makes a good post-TF? Well, we've come up with 4 main contributing factors: adaptation, relocation, reaction, and evolution.
So, obviously, finding yourself in a new body is going to come with some new rules. You could be dealing with more or fewer limbs, new instincts, maybe some cool superpowers you might not have the hang of yet. That's what adaptation is all about. Now, some people really like this aspect, and that's called aptophilia. And do you guys know how grateful I am that we come up with specific terms for this stuff as shorthand? Because it makes my job so much easier. In general, this adaptation element is featured more commonly in transformations into creatures like animals, monsters, mostly quadrupeds, but adaptation is still present in humanoid post-TF. Like, if you're a kid and you suddenly become a grown man, Shazam style, you aren't going to be used to your new body. Just give him the Santa Claus. Well, in the Santa Claus's new instincts is like he likes to eat a lot of candy.
He likes to eat cookies. He's a big fan.
And he
I hate this gift.
He gets, like, overly protective around kids. That's, like, part of that movie.
Okay, please
And
let
he
me switch
loses
this slide.
custody of his son.
Stop talking about Santa Claus.
Okay.
I don't want to look at him anymore. Check it out. It's relocation. Sometimes a cool part of the post-TF narrative involves a change in setting. Whether through isekai shenanigans, natural trap and release, or being TF'd in an area unfamiliar to you, sometimes you have to adapt to a new world along with a new body. Crazy. And there's lots of directions that one can take when it comes to getting used to the new setting. Obviously, they might have some trouble in an unfamiliar environment, or maybe it's perfect for them and they actually have a great time. Maybe they're having such a good time in their new home that they don't want to go back. Drama? Hello? Like, what?
You realize he is built for this.
Oh, shit.
Now, while the way the TFE reacts to their changes is important, something that's just as important but often overlooked is how the people around them react. Like, the person who changes has to have family or friends who are going to notice that they're gone, and they're going to wonder where they went. Is our TFE going to try and reach out to them, or are they going to hide away from the public? If they do try to reach out, can they even communicate with them? Will their loved ones believe this wild animal or this strange person is actually their transformed friend or family member, or will they be confused and scared? Do they have allies to help them learn how to navigate their new world or form? And what about people that don't know RTFE? Depending on what our heroes turned into, people might call animal control, or try to hunt them themselves, or call the government on them. I mean, as you can see, we have pictures. Worst pictures could possibly go.
That's pretty bad. It's like the
Your
worst
brother
you
could
could
kill
do
you
it.
with a spear.
And that'd be really sad. That would suck.
Or you could get kissed by an elf, which is not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
And finally, the last element is evolution. Could have just called it character development, but we wanted to keep up the shun-cifics theme. And basically, when you change physically, the shift in perspective can make you alter your priorities and outlook on life. In essence, change engenders change. A spoiled brat can be humbled, a closed-minded individual can expand their worldview, stuff like that.
Engenders, you say? Haha.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Well, now that we've covered the building blocks of what we think makes post-TF fun, we'd like to go over just a couple pieces of post-TF media that we personally enjoy or find interesting and talk about what makes them work for us. And just a note, a lot of this is going to get obscure as we go, so sorry in advance. Some of this stuff is going to be obvious, while there's going to be some more deep cuts. If we only filled this with the obvious ones, it would just be like Disney movies for the next hour, so this isn't supposed to be comprehensive.
So, figured we'd start this off proper with something everyone here probably already knows. Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. You all know the story. Your player character gets transported to a world inhabited entirely by Pokemon, becomes Pokemon themselves, has to go on an adventure to find a way back to their original home and body, and probably save the world in the process. Because it's usually in danger for some reason. There's like a meteor or a tree. And there's not a whole lot of focus on the specifics of the transformation, since like you can be a whole bunch of different Pokemon as your player character, so it can't really go much in depth into the specifics of the new body. It's more just a story about being somewhere else in an unfamiliar body and dealing with the consequences of not having any memories except that you used to be human and you need to get back home. But there is a manga adaptation that goes more in depth and has the character actually react more. And there's enough fan works that you're bound to find something with a Pokemon you're interested in. And that's about it, since this has already been covered to death. But they should have let you be weird as shit in this. They should have let you be Litwick. Cowards.
Like, look at this Totodile. This could be you. Like,
this could be you.
This could be you. Think about it.
So there are plenty of Disney movies about some guy or gal getting turned into some kind of creature, but we can only pick one for the presentation, so I want to pick the winner. So today we're going to be talking about Brother Bear. Don't fight us on this one. So for maybe like the two of you in the audience who haven't seen this, a guy named Kenai, he gets turned into a bear after he kills a bear, and he ends up going on an adventure with a little bear cub to turn human again. And initially, Kenai is really impulsive and he's immature. He gets assigned the totem of the Bear of Love, and he thinks that's lame. But after turning into a bear and going on an adventure with his new little buddy, he learns to be a better, more responsible and caring person. Or bear. Additionally, there's lots of focus on adaptation and reaction. Reaction in particular leads to a core conflict. Kenai's brother Denahi, he doesn't know that he's turned into a bear, and he assumes that the bear's killed him instead. So when he comes across Kenai in the wild, he thinks that's the bear that killed his brother, and he tries to murder him. And Kenai can't just be like, no dude, it's me, because he's just making bear sounds. It's crazy. It's awesome. I love it. I love drama. And also, in the sequel, his girlfriend decides to become a bear so they can be together, which is peak romance, if you ask me. If it's not like this, I don't want it.
Like,
Do not watch the sequel, though.
The sequel's not great, but there is this. This is all you need to know.
That part's cool. Don't watch the sequel.
Couple goals. Oh shit! All right, you knew this was coming. It's Animorphs, baby. Animorphs is all about TF, and oh boy, does that TF have consequences! Oh my god! All the time. The books are all narrated from a first-person perspective, giving us a detailed look at their inner thoughts and how those thoughts are changed by their transformations. Because taking on an animal's form also means taking on an animal's brain and its instincts, and we get to see exactly how that mentally affects them. The animal instincts are often something that need to be fought against in order to maintain focus on a task or mission. In extreme cases, the animal brain can take over entirely, causing the characters to go briefly completely feral and forget their human selves until one of their friends snaps them out of it. Like this. You ever heard of Tobias? Like, you ever heard about what happened to that kid? That kid is a hawk forever. He's out there in the woods having rats for breakfast. Like, it's fucked up. He's just a hawk for the rest of his short life. It's
like, I'm
scary.
also out there in the woods having rats for breakfast, but he's not doing it by choice.
Yeah. Like, K.A. Applegate put all of these books online for free. So, like, you should read them, because they're kind of crazy. They're good. Look at this guy, he's going normal. Like, look at this. This stuff is insane. I recommend it. Love these.
It's good.
It's good.
Okay, so I don't know how more people haven't like talked about this in TF circles because it's literally a TF isekai. Like, that's the entire premise. It's a story about what if you turned into a clown. And there's a pivotal scene in the first episode where the main character, Pomni, realizes that she's forgotten her human name and has to pick a new one, and it like fucks with her really bad. And like you can tell that it's having like an impact on her going forward. There's a character who's like made up of a bunch of different replaceable body parts, and they open up about how disconcerting it is to have parts of them literally be detachable and replaceable. And it's really good, compelling character work. And also there's some fun shit where the circus works on tune physics. Like, the main character, Pomni, there's a point where her eyes, like, pop out of her skull, like the cartoon visual gag, except it's not just a visual gag, it's something that actually tangibly happens in the world of the show that has consequences for the story, and I just think that's really neat.
Yippee!
Hey, every pony, where's my former bronies at? So, anyways, Equestria Girls. Formerly the most contentious thing on the planet, for no good reason. But in all of the debates about how this was just a cheap cash grab spin-off, no one addressed the fact that this series actually has some surprisingly good post-TF content. I mean, it's got humans turning into horses. It's got horses turning into humans. It's got dragons turning into dogs. What else do you need in your life? Like, the first half of the first movie is just Twilight getting used to existing as a human. Like, she has to learn how to walk on two legs. She has to adjust to the fine motor skills of having hands. Because she had hooves and she did magic. And she used magic to carry things before. Like, she had to use a keyboard at one point, and she just bangs her fists on it because she's not used to having fingers. And then you have mirror magic, which is a special that's kind of the same thing with Starlight. But you also have some fun stuff with Sunset, who is a pony who has spent most of the series in the human world, going back to Equestria, and having been a human for so long, she forgets how to be a pony. She tries to walk on two legs. She forgets she has magic and tries to grab things with her hooves. It's really fun. Speaking of human to horse apto, there is also the special spring breakdown, where Sunset, along with the human versions of Twilight and Rainbow Dash, find another portal to Equestria while out at sea because they were on a cruise for some reason, and they have to go through it in order to get back home. It's Twilight and Rainbow Dash's first times in the human world, so they naturally have very big reactions to this shift. Rainbow Dash is super hyped, while Twilight is having an existential crisis. And she says the phrase, "all my parts are horse parts," which is really funny to hear in a piece of official MLP media. There's also subtle differences with the ways that the humans turn ponies and the normal ponies carry themselves, or like are designed. As you can see, Pony Twilight doesn't have her wings because she never performed the spell that turned her into a princess. Rainbow Dash just keeps her wings outstretched because she doesn't have the muscle memory needed to fold them up. It's a really subtle detail, but it's something I really like. And then there's also this one out of nowhere scene in Forgotten Friendship where Sunset has her memories taken from her and forgets that she's a human, and she, like, has a breakdown over not being in Canterlot and not being a pony, and it's really intense for no reason.
It's, like, hard to watch.
West Girls is actually pretty good. Watch, like,
in the corner.
90% of the series. Don't watch Roller Coaster of Friendship. The roller coaster isn't even in it.
The
There
roller
is no
coaster is
roller
a C
coaster.
plot at best.
Yeah, the J plot. Like, there's no roller coaster, they lied.
It was false advertising. I was really bummed. Hey, speaking of unicorns, Unicorn Warriors Eternal. That's a good segue. What's Unicorn Warriors Eternal? Boy, I'm glad you asked. And also hope that the watch party hasn't, like, shown an episode of it yet. Because it's the newest banger by Gendy Kartakovsky, who did Samurai Jack and Primal, if you like those. And it's about this group of magical heroes, these 3 magical heroes who are reincarnated throughout the ages to fight this thing called the Evil. And every time the Evil appears, this cool robot named Copernicus wakes up and then finds a group of people to forcibly reincarnate into the new era of warriors by shooting them with a TF beam. And this time, they've been reincarnated in a steampunk version of Victorian England, but one of the transformations doesn't entirely like take. Like, this girl named Emma is supposed to incarnate into this goth sorceress baddie named Melinda, but she just gets the powers and not the memories, and she, like, ruins her own wedding ceremony, and it sucks for her. And the others don't have this problem, though, and they keep calling her Melinda and acting like nothing's changed. And this series is full of one of my favorite things, and that's the good old-fashioned identity struggle. Because Emma's dealing with the fact that she's not the Emma she was before, but she's also not the Melinda that people want her to be and that she's supposed to be. But there's also this entire subplot with the fact that one of the other warriors is Melinda's husband, so there's yummy relationship drama. And there's a side plot where Emma's fiance gets turned into a werewolf, and it's good. He's very silly. The designs in the show are really good. It's real old-timey cartoon vibes. And anyway, season 2 hasn't been confirmed yet, and I don't ask for much. Just please.
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 I beg you.
Please. It's good. Oh, boy.
So, honestly, Zelda has a lot of options. So we struggled a bit to choose just one game to cover, but we eventually decided that Majora's Mask was the best for this specific panel, because as great as classics like Twilight Princess and Link to the Past are, none of them quite carry the weight and focus on the post-transformation aspect the way that this game does. Because, as you might remember, it's explicit that Link specifically transforms into basically a dead person when he puts on the species mask. Like, the Zora mask is not Link as a Zora, it is specifically Mikau. The same with the Goron and the Deku mask. So, like, when you put these on, people will treat you differently. If you go up to an NPC, talk to them, then take off or put on one of the masks and talk to them again, they'll probably have different dialogue for you. They'll treat you like a Zora bandmate, or a legendary hero of the Gorons. If you talk to the kids in the Termina courtyard as a Deku scrub, you get to experience a microaggression. And then there's the whole subplot with Kaifei, who has been turned into a child, which really sucks for him, because he has a wedding in like 3 days. So bummer. And like, you get to see how his family reacting, they're panicking, trying to figure out where the hell he went, his fiance has no idea where the hell he went, and they get this, like, huge epic of a side quest that takes the whole 3-day cycle to complete, where you reunite them, and once you beat the game, they get married. So, yay, Sniles. And as we've established, if you turn into a dead person, get their cool ground pound ability, like in real life.
Just like in real life.
This happens in all media. If you turn into a dead person, you get their cool ground pound ability.
Exactly.
Any media where you become a dead person, this is what happens.
And also in real life.
And also in real life.
In real life.
Yes. Yeah. Art affects life.
Don't kill people to get their ground pound ability.
Okay.
But just know that you can.
The witches.
You shouldn't, but you can.
Stop talking about the ground pound. This is the witches when they witch you. Look at this. That's scary. Witches by Roald Dahl. I'm sure like someone in this server had their TF awakening through either the book or the film. If you don't know, which I doubt it, it's about a boy who finds out that witches are real and the ones living in England have hatched this plot to like kill children, but he ends up getting turned into a mouse because the witches find him spying on them. They don't kill him. They just turn him into a mouse. He's not really bummed about it though, because he like doesn't have to go to school as a mouse. Like that's pretty awesome, and he gets being over a mouse really quickly. Like he's chill. And another bonus for him is that his grandmother knows all about the witches, so he's able to tell her the truth without like any pushback at all, and she helps him out in getting revenge. Based grandma. And in contrast, another boy, Bruno, also gets moused and has a more difficult time dealing with it because his mom is scared of mice and his family owns a cat. Also, right after Bruno's dad realizes that his son is really a mouse now, he threatens to sick a lawyer on the witch that did it to him, which I would have killed to see, but we aren't living in that timeline. Like, I want to see the witch on trial. Like, yeah, that's so funny.
The story should have taken, like, a hard swerve into a legal drama, like the
It should have become Ace Attorney. And in the end, the protagonist does have to struggle with the fact that his lifespan has been aggressively shortened and ends up accepting it because he doesn't want to live without his aging grandmother. And some people might find that heartwarming and others might find it morbid. Post-TF can inspire a nauseatingly vast amount of emotions.
And you know what else is nauseatingly vast? The ocean, which you're going to see a fucking lot of in Help I'm a Fish. So, first off, there's a reason that the title of this movie is A Cry for Help. But also, it's, like, shockingly good. Like, you wouldn't expect much from, like, a movie with, like, this budget and this, like, lack of notoriety, but it's honestly pretty good. There's some really neat animation, and it like goes in crazy directions you wouldn't expect it for a movie that's just like about 3 kids who turn into fish and go on an undersea adventure. Like it pulls a bold move for kids movies, especially in the early 2000s, and devotes a significant amount of screen time and development to the parents of the transformed kids dealing with the consequences of them being fish. There's like an entire subplot about them trying to find their missing children and learning that they've been turned into fish and are underwater. And also, so they were turned into fish by a potion.
A potion to put them in the ocean.
Yeah, as the tagline says. But there's also a potion that's supposed to turn them back to humans from being fish, but a regular fish drinks it, and it grants him sentience, and he immediately establishes capitalism, an entire economy, a functioning society, and a fascist military, fishist, if you will, within like the space of 24 hours. Like, there's a whole community with like buildings and public transportation within 24 hours, all built by Alan Rickman fish.
Rickman.
Also, this movie's fucked.
Alan Rickfish.
This movie's fucked up. Like, the protagonist spends the last 15 minutes of the movie bleeding out. He sustains a mortal wound while he's fighting a giant crab, and he spends the entire like climax of the movie fully dying.
You can like see him like slowly losing blood, like he like turns
he's
gray.
Losing color from his little fish body.
There's like a part where like his family reacts to the fact that it seems like he's actually dead, and like his cousin starts fucking screaming, and the voice acting is like really raw. They use TF to kill a man. Aaron Paul is the jellyfish.
This movie is good. We all watched it together and lost our minds. Help I'm a Fish is pretty good. Alan Rickman is in it.
So, the thing about Howl's Moving Castle is that it's actually like 3 to 4 post-TF stories at once. Because, like, obviously you got Sophie, the witch witched her, and now she's an old woman. But then as the movie goes on, you have Howl using his bird form, and, like, you know, the more he uses it, the more he struggles changing back, and eventually he gets stuck in it for the last chunk of the movie. And then, surprise, it turns out at the end of the movie that scarecrow that's been following the castle around was actually that cursed prince that you've heard about once or twice. And now he's a human again. And this was originally just gonna be a slide about Howl's Moving Castle, but as we started writing this, we realized that, like, Ghibli movies just use TF as a plot device a lot. Because, like, Ponyo is all about how becoming human makes your father, Liam Neeson, incredibly upset with you. While it's mainly focused on the mid-TF, or, like, the back and forth between fish and human, there is a lot of emphasis placed on, like, the weight of the changes, because, like, Ponyo is caught between the magical and mundane world, and if she becomes a human, she loses her access to her magic. Spirited Away obviously has the pigs, but you also have Haku and his dragon form, the water spirit, the river spirit changing after being purified, etc. Yubaba's spoiled son gets turned into a mouse or a hamster or something, and hangs out with Chihiro for the last third of the movie, and goes through a character arc where he's willing to stand up with her because of that. And I haven't seen Porco Rosso, I'm gonna be honest, but, like, how could I not put it on this slide?
This picture is so good. Oh boy.
Hey guys. So, don't worry. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about the book version of Beastly because it's actually really good. I read it for the first time in like 2008. I was only 10, but I thought it was really good. As the title implies, it's a modern Beauty and the Beast retelling. I put modern in air quotes because there's still like witches and like there's spells and stuff. Like the main character gets witched and he gets turned into like a furry monster and not a guy with tattoos. I am still mad about that. Yes, everybody in the comments, there is a Wii game. This was released around the time that they were releasing Wii games for everything. After the guy Kyle gets transformed, when he changed his name, sorry to all the Kyles, but Kyle sucks. He like has to hide away because he's a beast, and he befriends a girl, and he falls in love. He becomes a better person. Obviously, like it would be weird if he didn't become a better person. This is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. The movie really sucked. It cut out a lot of the cool stuff, like the fact that Adrian goes to like he finds on his computer like this group chat just appeared, and it's full of like other kids who have been cursed or like members of like fairy tale characters. Like one of them is the Little Mermaid, one of them is like the Frog Prince, and the Frog Prince has trouble typing because he's got little froggy hands. Like it's a really good book. There's some stuff that doesn't hold up at all, but like overall, it's great. It's leagues better than the movie, and probably leagues better than the Wii game. But I think you should still watch. You should still watch the movie if you like want to have a weird, goofy night with like maybe drunk friends. But other than that, I can't recommend it. But I think you could probably get the Wii game on like Amazon or something.
Yeah, I checked. You can get the Wii game on Amazon for like $20.
Oh my god.
It's pretty funny.
Okay, so we will be honest. None of us are that huge into Dragon Ball, but we did have a friend who does know about Dragon Ball help us with this slide, and we did read the one shot for this. So I'd like to think we know what we're talking about. Now I get an excuse to delve into my favorite underappreciated TF genre, character TF.
Everyone appreciate character TF right now.
Don't do that. Appreciate it now.
So this story is about a guy who falls down the stairs, dies, and ends up in the Dragon Ball world as Yamcha. If you don't know about Dragon Ball, Yamcha is the guy who's in that funny picture of the guy lying dead in the crater. Now obviously, our main character here doesn't want that. But luckily for him, he is a huge Dragon Ball fan, and has also been sent back to the very start of the original series. So, he uses the knowledge he has of Dragon Ball as a series to go out and train and become stronger, so he can change the story and survive. It turns out that another guy has been reincarnated as Chaozu, and he tried to do the same thing, but he kept dying, so he turned evil, and is trying to use his meta-knowledge to take over the world. As one does.
As one does.
Fun fact, this genre of guy dies, gets reincarnated in a fictional as a fictional character in a fictional series, is a whole genre. It is called transmigration. Most of them aren't licensed properties like this one is, but it is a cool genre in general, and more people need to check it out. This one is sorry, much mouth. This specific thing is fun because it taps into the idea of being OP and just getting to hang out and be a cool guy in your favorite series. And it's only 3 chapters, but the 3 chapters that you do have are pretty decent.
Yeah.
You know more about Dragon Ball, you might get something out of this compared to me.
I hate this picture of the Pop figure. This is not so.
I saw
Poor
that.
boy.
I saw that Funko Pop of dead Yamcha at like a convention, and it like stopped in my tracks. I was flabbergasted.
Oh man. We have entered the honorable mentions part of our presentation. So now that we've covered all of our main talking points, let's discuss some bonuses? Question mark. These are pieces of media that either like didn't have enough material for a full slide, have been discussed to absolute death in TF spheres, or would have taken up way too much time. We didn't want to entirely forget about them though, so this is the part where they will get a quick shout out. And we go, henceforth, to the list.
Alright, obviously, we can't talk about post-TF without at least once mentioning the granddaddy of all post-TF content, The Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka. You all know the story. A man wakes up as a bug. This ruins his fucking life. He can't go to work. He's the breadwinner of the family. He can't go to work. He's a bug. His family hates his ass. It's both a post-TF thing, and it's a cutting commentary on capitalism. Beautiful.
Amazing. Emperor's New Groove. Huge jerk becomes llama. Male bonding ensues. Patrick Warburton is there. Yuzumi is a cat girl in the sequel movie. This movie's like kind of gay if you think about it. It's a little weird, but like it's good though.
It's really funny. It's still
funny.
really funny.
Which is great because
It's
I love
great.
gay.
Thank you to Patrick Warburton. All right.
The Page Master, a movie that had a totally normal effect on at least one of our panel holders about a boy getting turned into a cartoon and going on adventures in Bookland. They say illustration in the movie, but like it's a cartoon. We all know what a cartoon is. This movie also has Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde is one of the books they go into, and Dr. Jekyll is played by Leonard Nimoy. So like, that's pretty cool, you know?
They got Leonard Nimoy, and they got Christopher Lloyd. They got 2 out of 3 Xehanorts.
That's scary.
All right, and so then we have the Santa
What else is
Claus.
scary?
Speaking of 2 out of 3
you know what else is
Xehanorts.
scary? The Santa Claus, where Tim Allen kills Santa Claus and becomes him, just like in real life.
Yeah.
And like Gregor Samsa, this ruins his life. Becoming Santa directly leads to him losing custody of his child and gets him arrested. And there are jetpack elves. The jetpack elves don't really have anything to do with the transformation, but I need you to know that there are jetpack elves in this movie who rescue Santa after he loses custody of his child and goes to jail.
Great.
This movie's insane.
Ugh.
One Piece! Surprise! The silly series about a rubber pirate you've been seeing way too much of on your timeline has an insane amount of TF content. Like, it has a little something for everyone. You want animal TF? There's a whole genre of devil fruit dedicated to it. You want TG? who boy, is there TD in this series? You into something a bit more niche? Elemental, inanimate, body weird stuff like modularity, multi-limb, it's here too. Because of the focus of this panel, I have to recommend in particular Drum Island and Dressrosa because they focus mainly on post-TF, but if you like something in TF content, you might find it in One Piece. Because there's so much series, you are bound to find one thing, probably.
Oh, Shrek 2. A masterpiece of cinema, features multiple forms of TF as a major plot point. Shrek turns into a human man, and Donkey turns into a horse, and Fiona's dad is the frog prince, and he gets turned back into the frog for some reason. I guess he gets witched by the fairy godmother. Like that shit's crazy. I haven't seen this movie in a lot of years, but that was impactful to my psyche as a young child. Yeah, Human Man Shrek is horrifying. I don't want to look at him. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Okay, so Kingdom Hearts actually has a lot of post-TF stuff. Like, there's not enough focus on one specific change to get its own slide, but there are some worlds where the characters change forms. Like, Sora becomes a mermaid in the Little Mermaid world, becomes a lion in the Lion King world, becomes a toy in the Toy Story world, becomes a monster in the Monsters Inc. world. It's neat. They're with the specifically mermaid and lion forms. There's like a whole focus on how the gameplay changes by the new mode of movement that he has to deal with. And he as a lion, he holds the Keyblade in his mouth, which is really fun.
He's cute.
And there's also the whole thing with the character of Xion, whose identity struggles lead up to, at one point, her literally turning into Sora. And there's a point where Riku takes on the form of a villain he defeated because of darkness or something. It's too complicated to get into here. But yeah, no, it's really good. They do turn Goofy into a turtle, and I don't like that. It's bad when they do that.
Happened twice, and both times are bad. Scary.
So, Blush Blush is a silly little idle game / dating sim hybrid where you mess up really bad at your job and accidentally give a bunch of guys some cursed water to drink, and now they've all been turned into animals. And the only way you can fix that is by kissing them. So, throughout the game, and with each new guy you unlock, they have 3 stages of the relationship progression, which is animal, hybrid, which is like a kimono, ears and tails form, and fully human. And for each stage of dialogue, they have unique dialogue, where they'll talk about how it's hard to get around with how their size or body is changed. And the hybrid stage, they'll talk about how they still have some instincts, or how they still have to deal with the ears and tail. And in the human stages, they talk about instincts that have been left over. And this game is very tongue-in-cheek. And it is a visual novel, so there's not a ton of super detailed stuff. But if you enjoy post-TF and reactions, or you just like looking at men, then you might get something out of this.
They parodied Markiplier in this.
Men likers, sound off in the chat.
Markiplier and Dan Avidan.
The men likers, sound off.
I know that people were mentioning it earlier, and I just had to shut my mouth. But The Incredible Mr. Limpet is a 60-year-old movie about a man who is obsessed with fish, and he falls into the water, and Wikipedia says, for unexplained reasons, he becomes a fish. I don't think there's the reasons unexplained. I think the ocean just checked his vibes. And when he becomes a fish, he gets a fish girlfriend. There's a pink lady fish. And he joins the Navy, and he fights Nazis. And I'm not going to tell you how, but you're just going to have to watch it.
And then there's Wolfwalkers. Some of you may have seen this. in the watch party last night, and but for those who missed it, it's what if werewolves were lesbians and fought 17th century British colonialism? It's like the best fucking movie ever made. Like, there's not even really all that much I can say about it. If you didn't see it last night, please do yourself a favor and watch Wolfwalkers at some point. It's so good. It's so good, you guys.
Shout out to the person in the chat that said Peak Walker.
Yeah.
True. That's real.
All right, Freaky. We mentioned we had that on the little side earlier, and I saw someone, I think Narami, going like, "What's Freaky?" Freaky is a slasher film that's like a fun take on Freaky Friday, and it's about a high school protagonist. She gets body swapped with the slasher villain because there's a body swap knife. Just
out and around.
Go with it. It's by the same guy who did Happy Death Day. It's super campy and fun. Vince Vaughn plays a teen girl trapped in a grown man's body really well. Like his body movements are really fun, and it gets surprisingly touching. I don't know. I liked it. I think you guys should watch it. It's really good. Even if you don't like horror movies, I think you should try and watch it.
Yeah.
Speaking of horror, Jack Frost. Michael Keaton. There's a movie where Michael Keaton dies and becomes a terrifying snowman, learning how to become a better father in the process, which is a fascinating premise, if nothing else, which I absolutely just cannot focus on because the snowman is so scary. It looks so bad. He frightens me. Like, there's a different movie called Jack Frost, and it's like an actual intentional horror movie about a killer snowman. This one's way scarier. I hate Michael Keaton Snowman. I hate him.
Okay, gotta stop thinking about Michael Keaton Snowman.
Okay, yeah, now let's move on.
Put it out of your mind. Put it out of your mind.
I can't do this. It vexes me.
Hey, listen. I got something for you. Ben 10. We all know what Ben 10 is. But if you don't, I'm gonna put it to you in like 12 words or less. Benjamin Tennyson slaps his crazy ass watch and becomes hella aliens. You should watch it. That's all I can say. Cool.
There are more than 10.
There are a lot more than 10.
There's a lot more than 10 aliens, I'll tell you that.
You know what's a lot more than 10? 100. That's 10 times more than 10. And that's the amount of deeds that Eddie McDowd has to do if he wants to get undogged. Because Seth Green was the bully. He was a bully, and he gets turned into a dog, and he can only turn back if he does 100 good deeds. And I love any story that has like guys turned into some creature, but there's still a human guy hanging out with them, and like just some guy he can talk off of. And in this, it's the last kid he bullied before he got witched. He is the only one who can understand him, and I think that's really interesting.
That kid is a dog.
Mention what it says on the wiki.
Oh yeah, we gotta think of the Wikipedia page. Don't forget, because that's really funny.
Yes, the Wikipedia page. The Wikipedia page for this. As I was refreshing myself on it, because it's been ages since I watched it, said that like the series ended with only 60 good deeds completed, so it's unknown if he turns back.
Eddie McDowd died like the dog he is.
Okay, cool.
And for our final lightning round, The World Ends With You. This game contains the most emotionally devastating human-to-human TF you have ever seen in your life. I cannot say much more about it because it is like an insane spoiler just by mentioning it, but it goes insane and taps really well into the themes of identity. Also, the bosses TF into their personas whenever you fight them, and one of them is a really cool lion guy.
I love everybody in the comments being like, "Yes, Twilly mentioned."
Yeah.
Yay!
It's not awful, but it's like not a good way to get into the series. Just watch a Let's Play of the first game or emulate it. Also play Neo. Not as much TF stuff there, but Neo needs attention.
Yeah. If you don't appreciate human-to-human TF, play Twiwi and you will.
You will learn the ways.
Okay, we only have 10 minutes, guys.
I know.
Okay.
But we're in luck because we're almost at the end.
Yep.
Which is good because we're at our second to last slide. I hope we've all learned a valuable lesson today about post-TF, otherwise we've just wasted like 46 minutes of your life. Sorry. But in all seriousness, I hope we've helped enlighten you guys about what we think makes post-TF an interesting part of a narrative. So if just a refresh, there's not going to be a pop quiz or anything. There's 4 major things we think work to make a post-TF story engaging. That's adaptation, the TFE getting used to their new body, relocation, the transportation of the transformed character to another setting. There's reaction, which is obviously the responses from the people around them, and evolution, or the character growth experienced in their changed body. And again, also any kind of TF can have these elements, human to human, animal species, that's fine too. Age progression, regression, absolutely. Anything. The world is your oyster, and that oyster was probably a human cursed by an evil sea hag or something. Probably witched.
Probably witched, yeah.
Probably witched.
Probably witched.
There's a lot of people getting witched in this slide.
In the whole presentation itself, a lot of people getting witched.
Yeah.
And you know what?
I meant the presentation. I don't know why I said
with that, we have reached the end of our presentation. We're not done just yet, though. We still got some time. To quote the legendary scholar David S. Pumpkins, I ask you this: any questions? Sorry, Halloween.
Okay,
had to
I'll
do
take
it.
this because I saw someone mention it a few times. Round 1/2. I don't have a ton of experience with round 1/2. Can you just leave it on the question slide?
I'm going to. I'm just trying to get into the Discord.
And I feel like I haven't had a ton of experience with that show, but I feel like the shift is a bit too frequent, but there probably are some good examples of, like, human-to-human shenanigans there. Like, and I know that his dad turns into a panda. I don't think any of us watched Ranma, and that's the problem, honestly.
Yeah, no. Like, I haven't watched Ranma, but I am a trans woman on the internet, so, like, I've seen some things.
Hud has asked some of your favorite subtropes within post-TF. Personally, I'm a big isekai fan. I love the idea of getting turned into, well, character TF, obviously, and also getting into that character's world and having to deal with their life. I think is really fun.
Oh god. Oh, I mean, Marcy, if you want to go.
I'm a huge fan of there being, like, an internal struggle with, like, identity. Like, I'm a big fan of, like, partial mind changes, like having to deal with a character's thoughts and memories coexisting and, like, maybe clashing with your own, and just having to sort all that out and figure out who exactly you are at the end of it all.
You know what? That's exactly what I was going to say, actually.
Okay,
so
yeah,
you took the words right out of my mouth.
We're all ill in similar ways.
Yeah, it's great. That's, yep. 100%. Yippee!
I like pretty much everything that all 3 of them have mentioned. I am very fond of Reality Shift. Reality Shift is really good, especially if you're put into a situation where you have to pretend to be the character. That's really fun. Oh boy, a lot of...
So many good
have you done...
I saw that one from Skyla. Have you done a fictional character goes to the real world, but they turn someone into a new body for them, and they have to deal with the consequences of basically stealing a body story. Not necessarily that entire setup, but I have done like a story where like a character possesses a person to give themselves a new body, but the character is like really villainous, so he doesn't really care that much.
Yeah. Possession TF is really cool, though.
It is.
Does transforming back and forth count towards post? Yeah, I just felt like that if we stuck too much, that for these slides, I wanted to stick to something that focused really strongly on post TF and not like jump back and forth, because that can be kind of hard to elaborate on.
I think if they spend long enough in the farm that like it does something to like their brain, I think that for me counts. You know, if it's having an effect like even after the fact, and it's not just like inconsequential. It's like, oh, you're like messed up in the brain now. That counts to me. That makes sense.
Yeah. And yeah,
Also,
no,
someone
Maddie.
else-
Maddie, as for your question, there is sadly almost zero official media I know of that focuses on TF into established characters, which sucks because that's my favorite shit.
It's
But-
really sad.
But both Bernie and Xander have written some really good stories about it. Bernie's got some incredible captions, and their work is really good. You should read it. They're really good writers.
Yeah, they plug their stuff at the beginning, but again, like that's their usernames. You can find them.
Yep.
They are on the internet.
I'm writing a long-form Guilty Gear TF thing on AO3. Go read Other Side of Paradise.
Everyone go read Other Side of Paradise right now.
You
Wild
sold
with
that
it,
guy
wild
by
with
thing
it.
at the mall.
They've got the transgender
someone-
weed.
Someone mentioned mass post TF scenarios. I really like them, but most of them don't appeal to me just because of how limited my tastes are.
What was the question?
How do you feel about mass post TF scenarios, like people adjusting to their
Oh
body?
my god. I have thought about this like at length.
Yeah.
I have thoughts and concerns about many a thing in relation.
Well, you're gonna have to get
Mental
about in 2
illness.
minutes because that's how much time you have left.
I'm not doing it. No.
Okay, never mind.
So it's definitely
yeah,
been
we
thought
have to
about though. Trust.
Yeah.
Yup.
What? That's
Scary.
crazy.
What?
I love that actually.
What do you mean there's a movie with Gumby TF?
That's crazy.
That was hard. That's
That's
scary.
Does the mask count? Does it?
I found it. Yeah.
Uh,
Like it
I don't know.
I mean,
feel like it's
it causes like a very drastic shift. No pun intended. Of like the guy's life. I think it also
Yeah,
like the mask stuff is also its
like-
own thing.
I feel
Alright.
like it's kind of like infant at the most.
We do have to start wrapping it up.
right.
But yes, all right. That is. I think we did. I think it's good. I think we did
I
great,
think we did
guys.
a
good job.
I had a great time.
Yeah,
Thank you
guys
all for coming. We appreciate you. This was really fun. I had fun.
Yeah.
Especially
Miles.
Thank you for joining
Schrodinger.
us.
Thank you in particular. That was very nice of you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yippee! Yay!
Yay.
All right. Yeah.
Yay.
Thank you. Thank you again. We had a great time. Sniles.
Bye.
We should probably get out of here.
Yep.
The next
All
guy.
right. That's our time,
All right.
everyone.
Thank you very much. That's our time. Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.